Hey, what's going on? John Wakes, how are you doing? Still trying to get the camera just a little dialed in here. There you go. How's that for a view? Turn the white light on. Orange smoke. That's a sexy ass rifle you built. I'm not gonna lie, man. Got the white light on?
Yeah. Out of the chair back. You can set it back down.
But yeah, we'll run a little time up on this. So, you decided not to get that shotgun. How come you passed? Was it just because of the full barrel on it? I used to, when I shot a lot of buckshot. Yeah, that's my 308. That's a 10 FLP. So the action's a 10, so it's a short action. F is synthetic, left is left-hand, or the L is left-handed, and P was police. So that was a rifle Savage was selling to police tactical teams. So, 2A veteran, how are you doing? Oh, there you go. Trying to get my TV caught up here. So I got all my ammunition fixed for Sunday. That should be okay. I hate making mistakes, but we all do it, you know. But so how much money do you think he's got in that rifle when it's all said and done? Let's zoom this in just a little more. What I see on my phone is a little different from what I see actually on the camera. So I always end up tweaking it just a little bit. Shadow Orange Tactical Sport. The shadow is the gray one, but yes, there's Tactical Sport oranges up here. So that's about the best you're gonna get from CZ. That and the checkmates. The checkmates are all the way on top. Kind of see them up there. Right there. That's probably not even that bad, honestly. What barrel did they put on it? Yeah, the orange ones, one with the optic is a Tactical Sport Orange, and then the other orange one with the grip is a Tactical Sport Orange 2. I have one like that in 42. I should get it back. My son's got it, my oldest. But my gun nevertheless. That's on the, I didn't pull it up real close. That's the Remington 700 action. BDE 269, I appreciate you, man. Double tap the screen, put a like on it. It goes for all of you. Throw some likes on this. That's the best way to stick it to YouTube, is get gun content and then people like it so that it gets shared. I don't think I'm YouTube's favorite gun channel right now. But I think YouTube's run by a bunch of communists, So Zermatt TL3 action. I'm not familiar with that. I'll have to look that up. You know, just like with everything, every type of discipline you get in with shooting is a whole nother hobby. You know, if you're shooting long range, you know, orange smoke, that's a hobby in itself. The reloading for that cartridge is a hobby, you know, or rimfire, any of it. So the furthest I can shoot is 600 yards. Anything past that, we got to travel, and I haven't been successful on the couple trips we made to shoot past that. But my AR, I wouldn't shoot that past 600. That's my 600 yard gun. I built that specifically for 600 yard. It's probably one of the best triggers you'll ever feel in an AR. I have it set up so it's got a dual trigger in there. I can switch it from a 2-stage to a single stage. It breaks at under a pound, so it's set up in a 2-stage right now. That's why I opened it up and I sent you that picture of it, orange smoke. But it's a dual trigger. Back in early 2000, when I got that trigger, it was like fucking 400, 450 bucks. Yeah, 600 yards isn't no joke. It's, you know. Yeah, no, it's not on my land. The range I belong to has got 600 yards. Anything past that, I got to go to different ranges. So there's only actually a couple plus 500 yard ranges in the state of Wisconsin, and one's down in Barnfield and one's down mid state. Yeah. Half empty. Half empty. I don't know if I've seen you on this channel before. If you're new, do me a solid, go into my shorts, leave a comment so I can find your channel, and then I will gladly check you out. But I don't know if I've seen you before, and if I did, I apologize. I must have missed you. But anyway, welcome. I guess you're gonna have to tell me about yourself a little bit because I'm unfamiliar with who you are. Just sub today, right on. Yeah, leave me a message though so I can find your channel. Otherwise, I don't really have a way to find it. My kid who usually sits here with me and pulls up channels, he's upstairs jerking off, I guess. And my laptop is downstairs, so I'm not gonna go get that. Yeah, welcome to the, hey man, welcome to the Realist Gun channel. You know, it may look like I'm flexing, but I shoot everything I have. You know, I'm never gonna tell somebody what they want to hear or what they think the answer is. More times than not, when people ask me questions, I'm honest and I say I don't know. So Glock 17L, it's not a comp gun though. It's not legal for USPSA or IDPA. If you want to shoot either of them competitions, which is primarily the two main competitions you're going to find in the United States, 17L is too long. It does not fit in the box. So you'd be better off with the Glock 34. And honestly, if you're serious about competition, I'd probably tell you to buy the 35 and then buy a 9mm conversion barrel, because then you could shoot USPSA in major and be scored major. Yeah, no, you're not going to run steel. I figured that's what you were talking about, is was a full choke. But Arizona Kid, how are you doing? How'd your day go? I appreciate you stopping in. Like always, double tap the screen, throw some stuff on it. Yeah, just the one shadow up there. That's the gray one. The other ones are Tactical Sport Orange, Tactical Sport Orange 2. There's some Checkmates up there, DWXs up there. Glock 34 or a Glock 35. So the Glock 35 is 40 caliber. So if you wanted to compete with it and you were shooting USPSA, you could shoot limited, major, or you could put the 9mm barrel in it and shoot carry optics, or you could shoot limited optics, I believe. I'm not sure if you can shoot limited optics with a Glock. I think you just got to shoot carry optics. Back to work, huh? Yeah, man. It's a cool looking gun. I'm not gonna lie. I use it more just for putting on a table than I ever have shot it. I don't think we have. We might have 500 rounds through it. I do intend to actually get it out and compare it to the Beretta. That's kind of a cool gun. I'm not gonna lie, you know. Ammo, welcome. How are you doing? You gonna stick around, or you gonna in and out? Yeah. Hey, John. That reminds me. I'm glad you brought that up. How many times have you lubed your gun with that shooter's choice? Because I was amazed to see tubes like 90% gone. A full tube of that lasts me over a year generally, and that's shooting it in the rifles, the pistols. My kids are shooting all that. So when you were talking, it was kind of melting. You might be over applying. It doesn't take much of that at all. Yeah, I don't know what they pay. I mean, years ago, and it was just for a short time, they had an event in the state of Wisconsin. They had a bunch of manufacturers there, and I actually worked for H&K for 3 days. My paycheck for the 3 days come right from H&K, but only 3 days. I completely doused my stuff with grease. Yeah, man, you don't need much grease at all. Watch the video. Watch my video, and I kind of show you how to apply it. You know, grease especially, you do not need much of it. So if you have it oozing out places and stuff, you're definitely over applying it. But I mean, ultimately, too much lube is never a bad thing. It's better than not enough, and that goes with most things in life. So, but yeah, John, if you're ever looking for a nice 22, the Black Mamba is a badass gun. Yeah, I hear you on that. You're at the range dicking off. It's all right. Jimmy, I honestly couldn't give you an honest answer. Other than holding them and looking at them, I've never actually fired one, and I don't own one. So anything I would say would just be regurgitating other people's information. I'd rather not. So, yep, left-handed bolt. I'm left-handed. Yeah, just make sure you're sitting down, John, when you see the price on them. But, yep, that one's a 308. TP9 steel frame. We were looking at one of my son and I think last week or the week before, we stopped at Fleet Farm, and they had one of the steel frames, and I will admit it does have an incredible trigger. That's about, I don't know, that I haven't shot one, so I can't say too much about it, but I agree with you, man. They do seem to have really, really, really nice triggers. Everybody has a different idea of what a decent 1911 is. So what I'm gonna say is to start talking about a decent 1911, you're gonna be around the $1,000 range, 900 to probably 1100. And with that, you could pick up a Colt, you could pick up a Ruger, you could pick up a Kimber, um, a Smith and Wesson. I think they still make 1911s, right? A lot of things like that. So I think even Para Ordnance is still in business. If they are, they used to make really great 1911s. SIG used to make good 1911s too. But if you want a nice one, you're going to be around the $3,000 range, maybe a little bit more. And that's where the Wilson Combats start kicking in, the Ed Browns, the Les Bears, and them types of things. So the new trend is the Deagle in one hand. I told you to brace yourself. Yeah, they're not cheap, man. It's a great gun, though. I mean, if you watched the short from my daughter last weekend shooting it, I mean, they are phenomenally accurate. Great shooting pistol, incredible trigger on them. Action's butter smooth. Yeah, that's why I said they're not cheap. They all start right around $3,000 for a good one. You know, the one I have, my Colt, I actually built that gun. All the work that's done to that is, I did that when I was in school for machining. So, I mean, zoom it up a little bit. You can see like the cock insertions. I did that. I did all the millwork for the sights. I recut the back to accept that grip safety. I did all the internals. I peened the slide rails, tightened up the action. I fit the barrel. I fit the barrel bushing. Whole thing. Emperor Scorpions. I'm not familiar with that one either. E-Series is nice. That's $1,200 gun. I got mine for $625. There's always deals out there. You know, the thing with like Kimber, they have, a lot of them have the bull barrels. So it's, a lot of people really like that. I don't mind a bush and barrel. I almost kind of prefer it because the bushing will wear out before the barrel and slide will, and bushings they're easy to change. Sometimes you have to do a little, right on, man. I'll check that out when I'm done. Yeah, that's a Volkorstern Black Mamba. I don't know if you're familiar with Volkorstern, but that's the cream of the crop right there. There's not really anything out there better than that. So it's a very pricey competition 22. Yeah, the Buckmarks are good guns too. They're reliable. That how they open up in the back, you know, it's like how a Beretta opens on top, right? Where it's wide open. They feed really well. A Smith and Wesson seem to do really well too. I see a lot of them. Yeah, it's a 22. I bought that for Steel Challenge, but yeah, it's a high-end competition gun. That gun would cost you more than a really nice semi-automatic 9mm. As a matter of fact, it did. I have some real nice CZs up here, and that costs more than the CZ. But super nice gun. You know, you can't see it, but it's got a comp in it. I went with long barrel for the velocity. So the more velocity you get, the flatter the gun shoots. So for Steel Challenge for me, I wanted the velocity, so I get a flatter shooting gun. I have a few, nothing fancy. At some point, I'll start showing Class 3 stuff. I used to have a channel and it was all Class 3. And when YouTube got on their whole big kick, I don't know, 4 years ago, I lost that channel. So since I lost that channel, I haven't shown any cans. I haven't shown anything full auto. Yeah, they actually, most of the time, they help accuracy. You know, if you get a good can, They really balance out a rifle. I never, other than 22, I don't have any for 9mm or 45s or anything. CZ75 Cold War Edition. I'm not familiar with the Cold War Edition, but I am familiar with the CZ75. I'll be honest, when CZs first became available in the United States, and even up to about probably 6 years ago, I never even looked at them twice. It just wasn't something I was interested in. And I made the mistake, and I had shot some. My buddy had a 75 BD, so that was the 75 series like you're talking about, and then it had the fire and pin block and the decocker. And his son had, was it a P09, I think? See, the P09 or P07, I think it was P09. And I shot that too. It was all right. They were both nice fitting guns. And then I bought my PCR because of how it fit my hand, and I kind of went down a whole big rabbit hole with CZs. But on my Walther 22, I have a PMF suppressor I run on that. I'm sure you all know what PMF is, but it was, simple build, and they don't let you do that anymore. Now you have to buy everything. But a lot of my stuff, it doesn't have threaded barrels like my 308. I bought that during the assault weapons ban, so there's no threaded barrel on that. Sickle on it. That would have been kind of cool. Gage, are you coming back down here? Yeah. Holy shit, Jay Lee. It might be. It might be. I'm not going to talk bad about the guy, but I think he's a little different. I was scrolling through lives last night for a while, and holy fuck, dude. There's some train wrecks. Fiasco, I don't really hunt anymore, but when I did, I have a Savage 300 Winchester Short Magnum. So, Georgian, I'm glad you're back. But when I bought my 300 Short Mag, I bought something that basically one rifle for anything in America. You can download it with a 90 grain bullet, so you can shoot fox or predators, and you can go all the way up. Fuck, I think anything 30 caliber will fit in it. So, I think the heaviest I ever went was 240 grain, maybe 250, but anything you want, you can come through.
Sorry. Okay.
The Barrett 50 cal, you mean? I mean, you can kill anything in North America with that too, especially if it's behind like a couple inches of armor, no problem. But my son wanted to shoot a squirrel with it one day. But yeah, 300 Short Mag, that's an impressive cartridge. It's definitely not very well known, but it's a very, very mean cartridge. Go down and grab me a load manual.
Okay.
Go down and grab the new Hornady one.
All right.
I have stuff loaded, but I haven't loaded it in a while, so I don't want to quote velocities off the top of my head, but I'll have the kid go down and grab the load manual, and we can throw out some velocity numbers. I have one Shadow too, and that's the gray one. The rest are all Tactical Sport Oranges or Checkmates or Dan Wesson or something like that. I don't even think Mist would have been saying it nicely. I mean, it would have been into a whole different reality, you know. No, I'm not going to show ammo. I'm going to just look at the book here, and I'll give you velocity for that 300 short mag. Because it's fast. It's really, really fast, and that's why I don't shoot it much. I like shooting it. It's a big boy gun, but 300 short mag is fast, so it eats up barrels. Not a sponsor. What's going on, man? I was going to come back, and I said I'd do a live. So, no, I didn't see you touch any guns. Why, did you get booted? Which one is your favorite? Only one? Honestly, if I had to pick only one gun out here that would be my favorite, it would be my Colt 1911. And that's just because I built that gun, so there's a sentimental value to it. So, trying to loosen this up here so it moves. And that would be the one above the gold one there.
Hey, did you make Jordan a moderator again?
No, hey Georgian, you want to be a moderator again? You're just gonna hang out for a little while. We can make a mod. There you go. So hopefully he hangs out for a little while. Stifler, how are you doing, man? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. You said you were just dry firing? Not on a live though, right? My biggest caliber is 30-308. Those both 30 cal. Bullets are longer, but they say 308 is more powerful. Yeah, so 30-30 is a 30 caliber bullet. So you can use them in a 308. 30 bullets are usually flat nose, and that's so they don't get a chain fire in the magazine tube. Yeah, that's okay. They can hear that. My Colt's sentimental to me. It's not, like dollar wise or anything, but it's just sentimental. I built the gun. I took it. I did all the machine work on it. I fit the barrel. I timed the barrel with the barrel link. I remilled the back grip because it had just a standard GI grip safety. So I had a machine out the back of it. It was all stuff I did in school. It was, sentimental value. Just come into place like it should. You'll get there. Being busy and making money is never a bad thing. All right, let's see. So 165 grain bullet. Looks like I have load data and I could push it up to 3,300 feet per second. So that's pretty quick. So there's load data that starts at like 2,700 feet and it goes up to 3,300 feet per second. So you can zip a 300 short mag. And then the heaviest bullet I have, and in this book, this is my Hornady book. I know in my other ones I have heavier, but it goes up to 220 grain, and it'll push a 220 grain bullet up to 2,650 feet per second. So that's zipping. Me too, LOL. Re-ammo. I touched guns in my life. I'm not sure. Did they boot you a little while ago? Is that what they said? Oh yeah, dude, it's booking. Like I said, it's an impressive cartridge. Don't ban orange. I would never ban orange. I'd never ban anybody that's in here, honestly. Stonebud, I did see you. How are you doing, man? You're looking into what? What you gonna buy now? I don't know if you guys are familiar with Stonebud, but he's a young guy from Tennessee. He's got a couple cool guns. Nas is my baby daddy. Yeah, I think you've said that before. It's okay. It's always better to let somebody else pay child support. I like Stone, yeah. So let me pull that back up. 300. So in my Hornady book, just for curiosity, let's see. The lightest bullet I have in here, which again, in my other manuals, I know it's lighter, is 110 grain VMAX, and that shows about 3,700 feet per second, 3,650, 3,700. I have revolvers. There's one on the table, man. You just can't see it. Oh, let me zoom this back out. See, there's a little one on the table right then. That's for all the revolver guys. I don't want them to feel inadequate. Thinking about getting an operator AOS. Fiasco Dan. So again, like for me, the 300 short mag, it's anything you could do with North America with it. If you wanted to shoot an elk or caribou, a moose, a bear, you would use a heavier bullet. You would get deeper penetration. Oh God, penetration, never have enough of that. You get more penetration with a lighter bullet. They're gonna be fragment quicker. So on something like a coyote or a fox, predator control, you'd run a light bullet. It's just like, it'd be like somebody just said a missile. It'd be like shooting them with an RPG. Honestly, Big Boy Diesel, for like general pistol competition, you know, USPSA, IDPA, Steel Challenge, IPSC, or any of that other stuff, any good serviceable sidearm is a good place to start. You know, Glock 17, Glock 47, Beretta if you like Berettas, Canics, any of that stuff is a great gun. The core foundation of all them games, because shooting games are exactly that, it's a game, right? Is it all starts with a quality service gun. You know, there's divisions that are specific to stock, which nobody abides by stock. We all modify them, but it's a stock service type gun. So any good quality service pistol is a great place to start. You stay away from like the compacts. You know, a lot of people shoot Glock 19s, and now with having optics on them, people tend to do better. But I always like longer sight radiuses. I mean, hence the reason most of them are long, right? It gives you more velocity. It gives you a longer sight radius, which makes it easier to shoot accurately. Arizona Kid, welcome back. Maybe, but at 50, so dude, that is. You ever come to Wisconsin, let me know, we'll go shoot it. So that's my ultimate flex. Do I have a backpack gun? Not really. I mean, I have things that would fit in a backpack. So when we go to different places, I just carry my Glock 26. That's pretty much my carry gun. When we go up north and shit different times, sometimes I'll carry a Glock 17, you know, in the fall or whatever. It's easier to conceal a full-size gun than in the fall than it is in the winter or in the summer, but yeah. Yeah, man. At my range, at the range I belong to, we can shoot 50 cal on weekends. They don't let us shoot them there during the week. They try to have a little respect for the neighbors, and it's a bogus rule, but it's their rules. You know, 4 years ago we weren't allowed to shoot 50s out there at all. However, 4 years ago we were still allowed to shoot full auto, and now we can't shoot full auto anymore. But it's still cool to be able to shoot the 50. There's not a lot of places, you know, be surprised how many places will not let you shoot a 50 caliber gun at their range. I mean, I could kind of say rightfully so, but you know, they're powerful. They definitely, I'm gonna say the P word again, but they definitely penetrate. It's no joke. You know, first day we took it out shooting, and we were penetrating the backstops, and we watched the bullet bounce behind the backstop downrange. I gained a new respect for the gun. So we always make sure we shoot it with a very, very good backstop. And if you think you have enough of a backstop, you probably don't. Yeah, I seen them drum mags. They're $1,500. I wouldn't mind having one, but they're $1,500. So yeah, there's definitely no steel targets we're supposed to shoot either. I'm not going to say I do or don't, but I probably do shoot steel with it. So you're right, Stifler. You definitely want to wear earplugs and muffs with it. I mean, you shot one, so you know what the concussion is. There, you feel it. I I'd like to maybe sometime when my kid shoots, I need to go across the range or something, because up close it's concussive, but I don't really think it's that much louder than anything else. I mean, if you're close, you feel the concussion from it, from the shockwave, just because you're moving a large bullet, right, large projectile. But I'm not sure. You think it's louder?
I don't think so.
So I think
I
I think a lot.
really won't be so loud.
I think a lot of it has to do with the backstops. Started liking the longer gun G17, but started falling in love with compacts. Just need the 357 Gen 5 compact to feel complete. Yeah. So, the compact guns are great for carry and they're great for service. Like I said a few times now, I always look for a long sight radius, and it's for competition. I wouldn't carry a Glock 34 for a daily carry gun. No, log pile probably wouldn't stop it. A lot of the other ranges I've been to be honest, thinking about it and knowing what their backstops are, that they wouldn't be sufficient to stop it. So, yeah. So I maybe I didn't put it out, but I did last time we shot it. My daughter was standing off on the side a little bit, and I was trying to have my kid videotape it because she's never heard it before. Hey Harley, we'll have her tell you about it. Hey Harley, come in. We'll have her tell you about it, because every time we were going to shoot it when she was with us, she didn't want no part of it, and I don't know why. She just had this thing in her head that it was horrible. But we'll let her tell you in her own words what she thought of the 50. Hey, Miss Harley.
Yeah.
You want to tell them about your experience with the 50? With the Barrett?
The Barrett?
Yeah. What'd you think of it when we shot it?
I hated it.
Why?
I hated it.
Did you feel it in your bones?
Yes.
You are careful.
Was it loud?
Yes. With my earplugs and earmuffs, I still covering my ears.
With her earplugs and earmuffs, it still rang her ears. I guess that wasn't a nice thing for Dad to do, but good thing about hearing Harley is you can only lose it once.
You can actually lose it twice. You can lose it in one ear and then the other.
Well, that's still one time.
Yeah, you only lost it once.
Or between the Glock 19 and my P365 winner, it's a Glock 30. Yeah. I mean, I don't own any 19s. I have. For me, it's kind of like my CZ Shadow. It's a weird gun that's a great gun in itself, but it doesn't really have a place that I use it much. For me, a Glock 19, it's a good carry option, but I think the Glock 26 is a better carry option. It's a good gun for competition, but a Glock 17 or a Glock 34 is better. So I know a lot of people, I mean, like I said, we see people shoot them. Hey, Harley.
Yeah.
Come here.
1 minute.
But, on point 2A, what's good, man? What are you doing? Glad you're here.
What did you say about
Make you a moderator again.
I couldn't hear you.
Arizona kid, yeah. Repeat what you said to him, he couldn't hear you.
You can technically lose hearing twice if you lose it 1 year at a time.
Reed is kind of high.
What did you say about hearing? I couldn't hear you, LOL. Did you lose your hearing?
No, he's messing with you.
Oh. I thought he lasted.
Yeah, so like my Glock 26, I have the Pure Grip extension on. So basically, in your hand, your finger side is it's a full grip. Cooking with Love, how are you doing?
Hi.
You still at work? I imagine so.
Hey, Orange Smoke, I caught your comment out of a glimpse of my eye.
Oh, I bet. I forget sometimes too when we shoot the 50 to double up. And every time I do, I regret not having earplugs and muffs on.
I'm grabbing my favorite bookmark.
Yeah, what time are you done Cooking with Love?
I'm going upstairs.
All right,
Hi, Cooking with Love.
take him with you.
Leroy, come on, buddy. Come on.
You should start a channel. I try to get everybody to do that. You know,
Come on, Leroy.
you already know a lot of the people. I've had permanent hearing damage since I was about, I don't know, 11, 12 years old. We had an earth mover. We were re-leveling our barnyard, and the earth mover tires, they have water and air in them, but it was low, and so I was told to go put air in it with a compressor, and I put some air in it, and I could hear a cracking sound. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I leaned in to hear what this cracking sound was, and the tire exploded. But it was off of a big earth mover. Yeah, all that stuff gets you, man. I actually started an Instagram page again, so yesterday or the day before. If you guys want to find it, it's FE Ordnance. The rifle on the right is a 308. Assuming you were talking the one on the table. Glock 30. Change the trigger. Nerves on the trigger. The Gen 4 got on your nerves. Yeah. So I've carried a Glock 26 since I think about 2000. I had a Gen 3, a Gen 4, and now the Gen 5. And I'll have that now until my middle son here gets to be carrying age. And then I'll give it to him just like I gave my other son my Gen 4. Let's see. Yes, sir. All my Recs are 308. Yeah, 308's a good option. Especially if you're a reloader. The 30 cal bullets are easy to find, So I've always enjoyed 308 caliber rifles. I've never subscribed. I know a lot of people do, like the 6.5 or whatever. But for me, that's my go-to caliber is 308. I've shot them for a long time. I've shot it in hundreds of different actions. So I guess like the holdovers and stuff, I don't have to think about it too much. There you go, Stifler. We'll pin your comment for you. So, I don't know if you guys are some of you guys are new here, but Stifler Manufacturing's in the comments here. He owns Stifler Manufacturing. They make aftermarket slides. So I would encourage you guys to absolutely check him out. He's a cool dude, man. Hard worker. Every time we talk to him, he's always working. So it's a good thing you're your own boss, or your boss would be pissed off. Be like, boy, you get off that YouTube. But yeah, man, don't sweat it. Yeah, big boy, you should absolutely. I appreciate the follow. I mean, you see it. I ain't got nothing on there yet. Amanda, how are you doing? But yeah, it's cool to share your stuff. You have a solution for storing firearm cases? I pile them. I stack them. Hard ones first, then the cloth ones on top. But yeah. I remember years ago, I used to have the bright idea that I'd have a gun case for every gun I have. And now I gave up on that. If I ever moved or something, I'd have to make like 8 trips anyway. But Yeah, he makes awesome slides. So at some point, I'm gonna connect with him and get one of his slides, and run it. If I have to buy it, I'm okay with that. It just won't be till end of season. Amanda, I'm good, man. I thank you for asking. I'm glad you found the channel. Um, I think box spring is made from gun cases. Yeah, you know, the gun cases or the boxes that they come in, that's a tough one too. You know, years ago I used to always throw them away, and now I learned that, especially when you start getting older and your guns are getting older, to save the box, believe it or not, to save the original box, even if it's just a plain Jane cardboard box that has a serial number on it, it's important to save that stuff and keep it in good condition. Later on, I mean, not tomorrow, not 5 years, 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, them boxes, it makes a huge, huge, huge difference in the value of a firearm. And it doesn't matter what firearm it is. Gearing up for a lot of precision loads on my single stage. Any advice? Patience and test. Lots of testing. Play with case overall length. Make sure you weigh your brass to consistent brass. You know, precision rifle stuff, that's a rabbit hole in itself. There's so many things that you can do that will affect accuracy. And you know, I can get close, but I'm not the best guy. You know, I don't shoot world competition precision. I mean, my Savage on a great day it'll shoot a quarter MOA at 100. On a bad day it'll shoot a half MOA. It's a good idea if you're going to load for something to fire form your brass first. That helps a lot with accuracy. Yeah. I honestly don't even know how many hard cases we have. I probably have, I don't know, what, 20, 30 hard cases?
Something like that, I think.
You know, probably about 20, 30 soft cases, rifle cases. You know, most of the rifle cases are all doubles. Man, don't even worry about spelling, because I feel bad for the guys I try to talk to. I am absolutely horrible about that. Yeah, they do get scientific. That's what a lot of guys like. You know, these precision rifle shooters. You got the guys who want to shoot it, and they want their gun, and they, you know, factory ammo, and they go and shoot. Then you have the other side of them guys who build their gun and then build their ammunition. They tune their ammunition. That's a whole nother thing, you know. Yeah, 0.1 grains at a time. Sitting there with a trickle charger. I don't have patience for that. I've done it. And I mean, that is the difference between, you know, an 1/8 inch group or a 1/4 inch group. But
You okay, man? He's saying that his spelling's not the right because he's really nervous.
I don't know why you'd be nervous. Got anxiety, maybe?
Maybe.
But you know, even people, when they start doing their load workups, they'll start measuring out the case capacity after they've fired it, because the case capacity will change from firing to firing. Proofread. I do that constantly, dude. It looks like I'm some half Chinese dyslexic, whatever. It's horrible. I get so ashamed of myself. And most of the time I'll glance at the message, and then when I send it, it'll do the autocorrect, and at least that's my story. As John would say, that's his story, and he's sticking to it. Monster at the range, shout out to a mile. Built his bolt gun, reloads. Dude would fuck some people's days up. Yeah, a lot of them guys are. I mean, so like I said, the furthest I shoot is 600. If you've never seen that, I don't recall what the bullseye diameter is, but it's basically head size. So I mean, it's not hard to keep 20 rounds inside of a head size target at 600 yards. My grandpa is alive, thank you, Lord. Were you having issues with your grandpa? I might have missed something in here. I go back and I might have missed something as comments. AEC, do you have a deck stock? I don't know what a deck stock is. Oh, on Instagram? Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in contact with a bunch of companies in Wisconsin, and a few of them now have turned down a relationship solely based on not having a following on Instagram or Facebook. So I started Instagram. I really don't want to do Facebook, but I need to put some effort into building Instagram up, I guess. Her deputy's heading out there, but my mom got her on the phone. She's good. All right, man. Well, you know, people are fragile, and yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry, it was your grandma, not your grandpa. I'm sorry. Told you, man. Yeah, the F class guys, they like that. What is his name? Eric Cortina? I think that's his name. If you ever want to watch some shit about reloading, that guy's just, it's a mind fuck, you know. And that's where I was getting about some of these guys, you know, measuring their case capacity shit. These guys are world class shooters, you know. They're legitimately world class. They are winning world class shit. Your grandpa's already dead. I'm sorry if I said your grandpa and you meant your grandma. But either way, Sheila, absolutely, you can have them all, no problem. Just tell me where to send them. He broke his hip. That's horrible too. My grandparents all passed away when I was younger, with the exception of my grandma. My grandma on my mom's side, but all my grandparents passed. I would consider it too long. As I get older, they all passed away when I was way too young, and they were way too young. But you only want the Beretta. Well, I can't help you with the Beretta because I don't have any Berettas out here. But if you had said a Gersan, I would have been chatting down your address and shipped that right on there. What's next on my list? I have two things I'm working on. I have a Zev Hypercomp I'm working on, and I have a Kimber Y2K I'm working on. So this time of year, there's not a lot of money going towards guns, but I'm working on both of them right now. It'll be towards the end of summer, maybe fall time. Yeah, that's rough. Nope, there's no Glocks up here today either. So I can't even offer you a Glock, Sheila. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see them a little better, though. Yeah, I haven't wanted to bring that up, Orange Smoke, but you doing okay with all that? The Shadow, you know, when I talk, you know, about guns, I kind of downplay what the Shadow is because I don't use it much. I don't really, it's in a, like I keep saying, it's in a weird spot for me. But the Shadow 2 is a great gun. You know, if somebody wanted to get in competition shooting, and they wanted to buy a competition gun, that would probably be the one I would tell them to buy. Optics ready, of course. That gives you the most divisions you can shoot, but it does exclude IDPA. It's not an IDPA legal gun. Was that Nathan? I think that's what it's supposed to be, Nathan. Tell us what you have up there. All right. I'll let my kid tell you. Let's see if he gets this all right. Well, we'll start small. We'll even show a laser on him. Hopefully the dog doesn't attack it. Don't leave it. Get up here, Gage. We'll start with that one.
I'd say North American Arms.
What caliber?
22.
What's that one?
That is a Shadow Systems. I can't remember what model.
MR920P.
MR920P. Chambered in 9mm.
Joseph, how are you doing?
Has a Shadow 2, CZ Shadow 2, chambered in 9mm. Has a CZ Tactical Sport Orange 2, chambered in 9. Has a CZ Checkmate, chambered in 9mm or 9mm major. Has another CZ Checkmate, chambered in 9 or 9mm major. Has a Dan Wesson DWX, chambered in 9. Has a CZ Tactical Sport Orange, chambered in 9mm. Has a Volkorstrom Black Mamba, chambered in 22 long rifle. Has a Colt 1911, chambered in 45 automatic.
ACP. Yep.
ACP. Has a Gerson
MC Deluxe.
MC Deluxe, chambered in 9.
That's an AR I built. That would take up a whole. That'd probably take me about 20 minutes to go through the specs on that. That one there is a Savage 10 FLP. Back there is a Beretta M82. That's a PMF built gun. And then my Beretta M1. So that's what's out on the table. Yeah, I was waiting for the dog to do it too. He looked, as soon as I picked it up, his ears popped up and his head, he picked his head up. And when I told him no, he got up and went over to his kennel. Sheila, no. But I can appreciate that if you like that one, you have a very expensive taste. That's a
good one.
That's a good taste, and that's an expensive gun.
It's expensive but good taste.
Yep. We had to show homage to Utah Dad, so we wanted to make sure we had something to represent him. As my kid's sitting here laughing his ass off.
Yeah.
But you notice, my bipods are the right way. The one in the front there, that's a Gerson. It's a Beretta clone. It's built and it's how can I say? It's licensed by Beretta to Gerson for manufacturing. It's a NATO spec and a NATO approved firearm. So it's a Beretta clone. Obviously, the titanium nitride and the little finger grooves in the front of the grip aren't a NATO option, but use the K7 and Dragunov rifles in the military. I'm not familiar with the K7, but I am familiar with the Dragunov, so that's pretty badass. Them are nice rifles. I think you're trying to say the front, and I answered what that is. Yeah, man, you can have it, all of them. I told you, I'll give them all to you. Yeah, y'all don't forget to be hitting them likes for me. That stuff really helps. It encourages me to want to sit here and take the time and share. Big Boy Diesel, one thing I'll say about this, and you probably see it with Mountain Man, is it is cool to sit here and bullshit with you guys. It is really cool to have the opportunity to get to know you. But yeah, I mean, I would sharing guns. So a lot of people get weird, like, I don't want people knowing what I have. To be honest, I buy a lot of firearms, right? Clearly, right? I'm okay with the ATF knowing I still own them and possess them. I'm okay with that because that eliminates a lot of questions later. Like, hey, he bought, I mean, one month, dude, I bought my Beretta, I bought a Checkmate, I bought like 6 or 8 other pistols, a couple of rifles, all in a 30-day period. And yeah, I got flagged by the ATF, you know. To me, it's not a big deal. They can watch my page, which they probably do, and they know I still own and possess all these firearms I've bought for all these years. That doesn't concern me. I don't show any NFA stuff anymore because YouTube stripped the channel down from me on that, and that was painful. But you know, a lot of people don't want people knowing what they have, and for me, like I said, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Most men in Korea know how to handle M16 and K2. Oh, so the K2, that's the Korean service rifle, correct? I believe. Like a kid in a candy store. Yep. Fat with diabetes. Just got a 1911 45. What manufacturer did you get? Good work. ROK Army, Republic of Korea, I believe. I never got to go to Korea. Always wanted to. I think that's supposed to be a whole nother. That's supposed to be a real weird atmosphere.
North Korea?
Yeah, South Korea.
South Korea.
What's the white pistol besides the 1911? That's a CZ Shadow 2. So that's basically the start model for CZ's competition guns. That's their base model firearm for that. That gun right there is more gun than most people will ever want. It'll do everything you could ever want a gun to do. It's not a great carry gun because it's heavy. It's a very, very heavy gun, but it's incredibly accurate. It's got a great trigger. The sights aren't bad. So, all right, Arizona, I'll see you in a minute. So that's what that is. I always seem like I'm some CZ dick sucker when I throw at the table. And honestly, if I didn't use them for competition, I probably wouldn't own any of them, to be honest. They're nice, they're great shooters, but it's not really, maybe the Shadow 2, but it's not really a gun, any of them that you'd buy just for a range toy. They're a little cost prohibited, but you know, people buy staccatos, so I guess I shouldn't say that. But there's better guns. Most of them up there you'd never want to carry for concealed carry. They're too heavy. You know, the Tactical Sport Oranges, the Checkmate, the DWX, none of them have a fire and pin block in them. They're not drop safe. Even my 1911, that started out as a Series 80, and I took out all the Series 80 components. So now it's would closely resemble what a Series 70 is, but it's got some machine work in there that would accept the Series 80 parts. The black pistols on top, there's two ZZ Checkmates. That's CZ's top of the top. That's their competition guns, straight up race guns. That's their best gun. They're hand fit, they're hand built. They're incredibly accurate, but it's a competition gun. The red one is a Dan Wesson DWX. So the lower on that DWX is a CZ Tactical Sport frame, but it's a Dan Wesson slide on it. So CZ owns Colt. Colt owns Dan Wesson. So that was kind of a joint project they built together. It's a really nice shooting gun. One thing I found out though, it doesn't like heavy loads. We were shooting some full power loads out of it. Was it last Saturday? And it wasn't a very enjoyable gun to shoot with a full power load. It definitely, that's a competition gun, you know. Brokeback Mountain models is, oh God, fucking cruel, just cruel. You know, one gun I'll say out of everything up here on the table for pistols, one gun that I've really started to like, and I'm really enjoying it when I get to play with it, is that Shadow Systems. I'm not gonna lie, I really like that gun. Bone stock, just the way it came. I really do like it. You know, that's with everything else up there. If my daughter wasn't shooting that for USPSA, I think I would. I like the gun. It's, where are we now? I think we're close to 4,000 rounds. I think we're right about 4,000 rounds on it now. And the only malfunctions we've had in that gun at all has all been with them foreign primers I use, and that's to be expected. That's nothing abnormal. Yeah, I don't own an M1 Garand, but I do have an M1A, the civilian version of the M14. I almost put that out here today, and I picked up the heavy barrel AR, and I had it in my hand, so I just brought it out here. But the old school guns like that, the old school Colt, the Series 70s, the Gold Cups, they're nice shooters. You know, they're not the tightest tolerance gun out there or whatever, but they're great shooters, phenomenal guns. M1As, that's That's one of my most enjoyable rifles I have to shoot. I don't shoot that for anything except me wanting to go out and enjoy the day and just enjoy the rifle. It's a very, very pleasurable rifle to shoot. I really, really enjoy shooting that gun. Like I said, I own an M1 Grand. I've tried that a few times, and the last one I had was a burn. But well, everything breaks. 1911s, they're notorious for extractor issues. You can usually rebend your extractor when you start having issues, but that is probably the weakest point on a 1911 is the extractor. And John Browning, that's something he changed in all his later pistols that he developed. He changed the extractors. They're all external extractors. So he recognized that as a fault and as a weak point and stopped using that process. But, that, I think, what was it, 1903? Trying to think what it was, the Pocket Colt. That was his first, model. And then he came out with the 1911 and 38 Super, which that's a really great gun. It's a 38 Super is a nasty cartridge. Then the U.S. military wanted a 45, so or something bigger than 38 and Super. That's where they came up with the 45. You got a Rock Island 1911 M1A. Sheila, hi again. Yep, there's Tactical Sport Orange, and then there's a Tactical Sport Orange 2 up there. So that's the Tactical Sport 2, Tactical Sport Orange 2, and that's the Tactical Sport Orange. Oh man, Orange Smoke, you're on it tonight, man. Next thing you're gonna be telling me is Minnesota has better brats than Wisconsin.
Again.
I'll be honest. I built a lot of the Rock Island guns up for people. We could buy the slide and the barrel, well, the whole gun. They were like $300-$350. I would take them and I would throw everything away, and then I would build the gun around their frame and their slide. It was a great way. I used to put a lot of them together. I still have one that's about 90% complete sitting here from when I still had my shop. Yeah, I know. We got better brats. I know that's proven fact. I bet you if you look up once, who makes the best brats in America? And feel free to lie if it's not Wisconsin brats. You mean stainless steel, like a polished stainless, or is it actual chrome? The Rock Island, them are all Series 70, so there's no drop safety or any of that in them. At least the ones I all saw never had it. But they used to be a really affordable way for people to build out a custom gun.
Here, hold it for the camera.
Oh shit. I can't even make this up. Orange Smoke. Orange Smoke. Let's get this in focus here. Certainly brats are associated with Wisconsin. Yeah. Yeah, we don't even need to talk about it no more. That's facts. Jonah, how are you doing? Yep. Yep. So nobody thinks about Minnesota brats, it's Wisconsin brats. Yeah, I know. I mean, traveling around 10,000 lakes is just so time consuming. I wish I didn't have to go around 15,000. Scoot, how are you doing? Knew a guy that dropped a mag in his slide, went back to reset, and a set hammer off to fire right through his legs and killed his dog sitting beside him. Yeah, them things can happen, man. Yeah, I'm good. Scoot, how'd your day go, man? How'd your week go? It's good to be done with work, Jonah. I'm glad we were able to catch you. I mean, when we're going around our 15,000 lakes, that's when we chew on cheese curds. I mean, I suppose if you're only going around 10,000, you don't even have time to open the bag. I'm not. JoJo's a gas station or is it a grocery store or what? Lots of dumb people is what's happening. Yeah, there's all kinds of them. Amanda, I'll say hi again. How are you doing? Cheese curds are the bomb, man.
Here's another perfect thing. Where is the bratwurst capital of the world?
Yeah.
I'm saying it's Sheboygan.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Wisconsin brats. We all know it's the bomb. Everybody else wants to imitate, but nobody else can duplicate us. Yeah, see, a lot of Wisconsin, they have, trying to think what they're called, the cheese houses, local dairies or whatever, but they're everywhere. You know, Wisconsin used to be, I think in the mid 80s, when I was a kid yet, Wisconsin lost the top dairy producing state, but they still make more cheese and all that than anybody else. California now has more dairy production, but JoJo's are huge potato wedges that deep fried and bread. Them sound good. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, my day's going good, man. We're all doing good. Cheese curds are good fried, but straight up, if you get fresh cheese curds, which a lot of the gas station stuff they get delivered daily. When they squeak when you eat them, you got good ones.
Yeah.
So I have invested over $2,000 for someone just to be dump on. So whatever. What? You got burnt on $2,000? You're gonna have to give me more of that story.
May not technically be the top.
I will back you 100% on cheese. I'll give you. Yeah, cheese and brats and beer, man. We're the capital.
And cranberries.
And
You
cranberries.
Get 1/3 of them in all the world.
And ginseng. Them are top Wisconsin exports worldwide. Wisconsin's one of the largest worldwide exporters of ginseng, of cranberry, of cheese, of DUIs.
Yeah, quite literally 1 in 3 cranberries are from Wisconsin.
You have a hard time trusting somebody. Yeah, I guess I want to hear the story, Scoot, if you want to share. Try Moscato d'Asati. That must be a cheese, I assume.
I'm pretty sure.
Scoot, I'm about as real as it gets. This is the only thing I have, you know. We grew up poor, so the only thing I ever had that I could offer anybody was my word, and my word is solid. Even my word to myself. Like if I tell somebody something, and I tell my kids they can't do something, and you know my wife later will be like, hey, you know they did this or did that. You didn't know the whole. I still won't change my mind because I said it. Because I said something. Because I said something and I meant it when I said it. I hold myself to that too.
It's a wine, is what it is. I have it searched up. Type of wine.
Oh, it's a wine?
Yeah.
Where's it made?
I don't know.
Yeah, my videos, I don't know. I wish
Northern Italy.
I wish there were, you know, hundreds of millions of views on them, but that's all I have to offer, you know. Like I've said from day one, I go out, we shoot. I spend a lot of times with my kids shooting. And we shoot competition, you know. I don't try to sell anybody anything. I don't try to talk anybody out of anything. I mean, I would and absolutely will if and when the opportunity comes up. I'll take YouTube's money. I got no problem doing that. I would love them to have to sell my videos and pay me for it. That would be fantastic. Yeah, you got to keep your word, especially like you're saying, Arizona kid, especially to yourself. If you said something and you meant it when you said it, that's what it is. And the only thing you can take out of it, even if you find out later, Scoot Ricochet. Write this down. Is it at Gmail or Yahoo or what?
I'm assuming probably a Gmail.
Gmail. Write that down.
I'd have it.
You have it? Okay.
I even take another one for in Gmail.
Yeah, you can't. You gotta stand on your word. You gotta mean it when you say it. Like I said, even times I've been wrong. You know, something with my wife or my kids or other people. I'll even admit to them I'm wrong, but I still won't change my opinion. If I mean it when I said it, I will stand on that because I have to. If I said something quickly or without taking other things into account, that's a bad on me and that's a bad thing. But you still got to stand on your words. You know, I'm just that way. Am I not?
Yeah.
You know, almost to a fault. And there's been times where I've told my kid, and he's sitting right here, where I've told him no to stuff, and then later on he'll come up and talk to me again and be like, and I'll tell him, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I didn't know that, but I said it. I gotta mean it. Yeah, and that's part of what I'm saying is sometimes, and I do it a lot, is I form an opinion maybe quicker than I should about things. Ammo, welcome back. Scoot, if I didn't see your name first, I saw your picture first, and I didn't recognize it. Arizona kid, I don't know if I ever told you, but Scoot in here, he's a SAS shooter, cowboy action shooter. And Scoot, I don't know if you know it, but Arizona kid does leather work. Ammo, I already said hi, man. I know there's a delay. Scoot, was that for me or was it for Big Boy Diesel? Hey, the thing on point is I shoot these guns. I'm by no means a collector. I'm a shooter. So did you eat? You sound angry. I'm not angry, not at all. Bratwurst capital of the world. Google can tongue my butt. I'm done with them. Hey man, you can't argue with facts. Facts is facts.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody wants to be us, but they can't even duplicate us.
And the thing is, that was from a judge too, and the second place, the one that was in the competition, was from Ohio. It wasn't even Michigan.
Oh yeah. Oh, Minnesota.
Or yeah, Minnesota. My bad.
Yeah, I got your email, Scoot. When I'm done here, I'll send you an email. You'll have mine. I'll throw on my phone number to you too. But yeah, I mean, let you know the cost. The cost fee for competition. So it depends on what you're doing. USPSA, most of the time, match fees for just a level 1 match is between $20 and $30. For USPSA, you can usually count on 200 rounds of ammunition. So that's kind of however you find your ammunition is what that costs. I would recommend if you want to play the game legally, you shoot 124 grain. I mean, like Blazer at best, right? Oh yeah. Hey man, anything you want to donate, anything I make off YouTube, that's where my money goes for it. I'm not making and pocketing anything. It goes right back into them. Um, the money we make, I mean, so far it's went to them. They're gonna shoot either way, but what it is it helps me when we go practice. That I mean, it lifts the burden. So rather than shooting 100 rounds, they're shooting 300 rounds. Um, my daughter especially, she needs trigger time with that gun. If and when we get to the point, she'll get a dot. Gage is pretty well set. He doesn't need anything equipment wise, just match fees. But yeah, that's a lot of people, you see them, they get money, like a super thanks or donated or whatever, and I don't know what they do with it. It doesn't matter. But like I said, my whole thing with YouTube, and I got to remind myself of this, and some of you probably heard me say this. The whole reason I started YouTube was to share the competition end of shooting, to get people that maybe wouldn't feel like they could do it. Younger people, older people. I'm not good enough. I need to shoot more. I need to practice more. To get them guys to realize that you don't have to be a super shooter or a super athlete to go out and compete. And then be able to provide, when people ask about it, we tell them how to find matches, and I encourage them. Mr. Ammo, he shot a couple matches now, and D-Dog and I both just wrote him constantly, hey, go check it out, and I encourage that for everybody here. If you enjoy firearms and you enjoy shooting, go find a pistol match. It will change your entire outlook on firearms. You'll meet the coolest people, you'll get the best practice you can get. And then the other thing that I want to do with the channel, and this is why I show my kids, is a lot of people think their kids are either too young or too immature or too hyperactive, and they don't take them shooting. And what I've learned is you take a kid and you explain to him the seriousness of a firearm, and you take them out shooting, even the most hyperactive, attention deficit disorder little shit you got, they are completely transformed as a person. You'll see them calm down. You'll see them start breathing and controlling their breaths and shooting precision. It's remarkable. So at the end of the day, that's the whole purpose of the channel, is just trying to get that stuff out. And it means something to me to do that because, and some of you've heard this too, is I had a guy years ago, he held my hand. He taught me how to reload. He took me to my first competition matches, and he loved it. And the only thing he ever asked in return from me was to share it, to share the sport. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is just share the knowledge that he blessed me with and the drive to do it. You see all these young guys out standing on the side of the road shooting guns, or out of a car window, or in the backyard. And I try not to look at it as a hoodlum. I try to look at these guys as they're going to be competition shooters. They just don't know how to get started. Ramon's, the Beretta is in the safe. I do have one. It's absolutely important to share the sport, and it's important to share the sport with the next generation. So he was older than me. He was he could have been my dad, but he shared the sport with his son. He shared it with me, and in return, I'm sharing it with my kids, and I share it with as many people as I can, because people may be willing to give up a firearm if they don't truly understand them. They're not meant to kill and cause harm. It's a tool, just like any tool. If you use it differently, you get different results. To go out and shoot competition, that just makes you a better person. And people that say, oh, I don't like guns, but they're the same ones that play darts or golf or bowling. It's the same, it's the same types of things. Beretta GTS. Beretta makes good firearms. Yeah, man. Like I said, if you want to shoot competitions, this is what you need. You need a good holster, just a service Kydex holster. You need a good serviceable firearm, something that's reliable. You need at least a double mag pouch. Usually you want a quad mag pouch, 2 separate ones so you can hold 4 magazines on you. And you need generally 4 magazines. Eye protection, ear protection, and some ammo. You go find a match, you go on SIG practice score, you put in your areas, you find your matches, and you show up. The biggest thing for people is that first step of showing up. Once you show up someplace and you're new, right? You don't know anybody. If you were in my state, fuck, I'd grab you by your hand and we'd be shooting this weekend. But you show up and you go find the match director. It's usually where everybody's signing up. There's usually lines. You say, hey, I'm a new shooter. And they're going to hold you by your hand. They're going to walk you through that match. They're going to tell you the do's and don'ts. And from that moment on, the minute that buzzer sounds and you fire your first round, you're going to be hooked. It's a very addictive sport. I'm old. I don't shoot like I did 20 years ago. I still, on a good day, I can get top 10. On a bad day, might be towards the end of the list. Usually in the middle to the upper side of the pack. Usually 15th, 18th. Steel Challenge last week, I got 8th place. D-Dog Tactical, that guy's a young star, man. He's killing it if you ever watch any of his stuff. 410. In Australia. So any of the other shooting you do, like people like trap and sporting clays, rifle, all them sports feed off of one another. If you get, a pistol's the hardest gun there is to master. If you can master a pistol, you can master a rifle. If you're a good shooter for wing shooting, steel, and trap, all the swinging steel and the moving steel, you're so much better on. But it would completely change your outlook. And next thing you know, you're gonna have 30 guns sitting on a table like mine, and they're all different. In Australia. I did a sound clip with that, and I had a revolver. I think it was the Bodyguard. And man, I think I got like 500,000 views or something on that video. Because people they're telling me what a dumbass I am and all these things. And, half of them would argue if that's a Glock made in Austria. That's a revolver. It's a Smith & Wesson revolver. And then, oh man, funny stuff. If you guys ever want to see that video, how it's a stupid short, just go to the popular shorts, and it's, I don't know, maybe it's in the upper 5 or 10. But
it's towards the top at least.
Yeah, it's towards the top. But just a stupid sound clip. I used to use them sound clips like that when YouTube would start doing their, and they don't call it a shadow ban, but when it's the third one from the top.
I believe anyway.
Don't turn the volume up, you'll get me a strike.
I know. That's why I had when I checked the volume, just went off.
But I used to like to use them sound clips because they would bust you out of the shadow bands, and then your channel would do really good for a month and a half, and then they'd nail you on a strike and you'd be back to being suppressed. Yeah, you would like it. So to be able to, and I'm never going to say it's training because it's not training, it's competition shooting. It's a whole different thing. But you'll learn how to manipulate a firearm fast with confidence, second nature, drawing, reloading, malfunctions. You learn how to transition. Now, some of the stuff on a course like that definitely doesn't relate to how you would do it in real life. But to learn how to manipulate a firearm under stress, that's as real as it gets. And if you don't think standing there in front of 20 people and that buzzer sounds that's not stressful, it absolutely is stressful. I'm Australian, my father American. Yeah, Scoot's a good dude. I'm glad he comes around. I'm always happy to see him. Yeah, it's a blast, and it's something that you can take as far as you want. If you want to do local level 1 matches, you'll have the time of your life. You'll look forward to it. You want to go up from there, you can go up from there, but it's good world shooting. I mean, usually, like I said, on a USPSA match, you can expect about 150 200 rounds of ammunition you're going to fire. IDPA usually about 100 125, maybe 150. IDPA is all you got to shoot from concealed carry and all that. It's absolutely not the fun game. IDPA is for the old guys who don't want to run anymore. So most people are going to have fun with USPSA. Ammo Alchemist, in his area, they have a Fallen Steel match. That looks like a lot of fun. I've never had any ability to do that. Again, for a competition gun, a good service gun. If it's a good service gun, yeah, a good service gun. You know, anything that's a good service gun that runs reliably. I wouldn't be buying a Taurus to go shoot it. People compete with Canics. They compete with Smith & Wessons, Glocks, Shadows, Colts. You know, pretty much any good service gun out there. Generally, a full-size service gun is the way to go because of capacity. You're not going to be running big sticks. Like in an open division, I can run 170 millimeter mag, but
It's either 170 or 172.
might be 170. I can't think of off the top of my head. A Glock 34 is a great option. Glock 34s were really popular for a long time, and the reason they were super popular is because of the sight radius. They were a long slide gun, so when people were shooting iron sights, you did hear Smith & Wesson. So when people were shooting iron sights, that longer sight radius made it easier for them to shoot accurately. Now, where 90% of the shooters are all shooting red dots, Glock 34s have kind of fallen out of favor. You get the same results from a Glock 19, a Glock 47, Glock 17 as you used to for the Glock 34. The Glock 17L, it's not USPSA legal. It's too big. You would be in open division with that, which, I mean, you could shoot it in open division, but you wouldn't want to compete with that. That would be a very harsh thing. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Scoop. Even revolvers, man. There's divisions that are for revolvers. So they have revolver with iron sights, and they have revolvers with optics. And depending on what game you're shooting, if it's Steel Challenge or IDPA, there's different rules that go with that. But a good service handgun, you know, a good revolver, a good, you know, platform, and you can compete, and you're going to be competitive with it. You know, the old guys that aren't as fast anymore, we shoot open division. We get scored. The scoring goes in our favor because of the caliber we shoot, you know. Yeah, they'll be coming back out with them. They're, especially at 34, I can't see them just like permanently getting rid of it. They're going to be coming out with some new stuff. I think they got pressure a lot because of all these Glock switches. They have to definitely change some things so that it's not quite as easily modified. Supper's ready. Scabbard's finished. I'll put you on short this weekend. Sometime have a great night. All right, man. I'll catch you later. I'll catch your live on, or not your live, your Sunday one. But you know, without knowing what you have for fire, I guarantee probably most of what you own for handguns would work for something. Mm-hmm. A lot of people they like red dots and optics, and to some extent, I see why. I've been playing with my son's gun a little bit. I can see why, but I can still shoot iron sights well enough, and I'm cheap, right? So I'm almost all the handguns I had before the red dot craze. I think if I was starting right now, then everything I owned would probably have red dots on it. But you know, it's a hard transition to go from not using red dots to trying to pick up red dots and shoot them well. My favorite gun would be my most sentimental, and that'd be my 1911. I built that gun. The Dan Wesson though is a really great gun. The gun I use the most is my CZ Checkmate, the one up on top with the black charging handle below that blue charging handle. I'll show you. It's that one right there. That's the gun I use the most. Yeah, well, if you said you subscribed on Instagram, so if you have stuff there, I'll be able to see you there. Yeah, we'll be here. I would guess probably maybe like another 45 minutes, unless everybody starts leaving. But what?
I just got sent this.
Who sent you that?
No, I know from school.
What do you make of that? Yeah, so maybe like 2 years ago, I tried Instagram, and like my second or third post, I got kicked off. They striked me and said I was breaking community guidelines, and I showed pictures of guns, and so then I wasn't worried about doing it. Did you put in for? You talking about muzzle broke or what? Yeah. What's your? So I can have the. You have Instagram? I don't think he has Instagram.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Put your Instagram page up, and kid can pull it up for me.
Who's Instagram I look for?
Big Boy Diesel.
Okay.
I want to know what YouTube did. What do you mean? Which time? They've taken 2 channels from me. One I had for a long time. And I don't know, maybe this summer we'll blow up that play button. I haven't decided yet. But they took that channel. When they got weird about full autos and suppressors and all that, he started to tell us the story. Country Cocks only fans say.
Crooks. Country Crooks. Butter.
Oh yeah. Well, sorry.
No high on my butter.
I don't remember what was the story I was telling. I know I got distracted.
I don't know.
I forgot what I was saying. Especially not talking about butter.
But how you lost your channels?
Oh, well, it's simple. The one channel they took because of showing full auto and suppressors and shit, and lost that. Then I started a second one with the exact same content and stuff I post on here, and they took that one away. And then I started the third one, which was rounds down by range, but now it's FV Ordnance 15. I started showing that stuff, but yeah, the whole purpose or my intent, just to share the sport and hobby. The YouTube shorts, they help get subscribers and get views when you're starting out your channels. Even now, you really have to do them shorts. You use the music in them. Alvin, how are you doing, man? How'd your day? You use the music in them. You use popular sound clips, and it helps get your content out. YouTube really suppresses that hard now. They don't promote it like they used to. They don't even let the videos go. They kill them right away. But that's whatever. you know, the long form content is great, but I don't have the patience for it. Yeah, you're killing it, Alvin. You know, if you guys are familiar with him or not. I can't tell you a whole lot about Alvin. I know he's in the service. He's a young guy. I'm not exactly sure how old. I'd guess under 25. But he's got a pretty hilarious channel. Yeah, if you don't want to do it, man, don't sweat it. I can find your stuff when I end the live. So yeah, I'll find it then. So we're good with that.
Yeah, I saw that in the school parking lot today. My first thought was, that looks like a vehicle that Walter White drove in Breaking Bad.
It does look like Walter White's. You know, that'd be pretty badass though, to have an RV to take to high school. Nothing there would happen. So obviously, Alvin, I made you a mod. So like everybody says, you know, of course you're subscribed, of course like the videos, check out the shorts, but give everybody else your support too, and they'll do the same. You know, that's important. You know, people lose touch and they stop realizing there's real people attached to the shorts and all that. They just, you know, they blow by them. But you know, it's important that everybody that's a positive influence, not only in the 2A community, but just a good person, that you share that with people. You never know, man. There's times where somebody will leave a comment and you respond to them, and you know, there's been a few people where they were actually in crisis, and man, I talked to them for days and days and days back and forth, and just that somebody cares enough to respond to your comment, and they're real. That's a real person that's attached. They don't just say, you know, thanks, bud, or whatever. But you know, that's important. You know, I mean, most of the guys that are in my lives here, same group of people. You know, and all you guys, it's good to see you. It's comforting. It's, you know, it's like sitting here talking to friends. You can be yourself. You can be natural. You don't have to censor your shit. You know. That is absolutely a 50 cal. That's my Beretta M82. That gun pretty much lives right there. That's my TV stand. Yeah, I get it. You know, a lot of people, they don't want to post, and like I said, for me it was easy. It's a way to try to have a positive influence. And I admit there's times where, no different than a live, where I get people that come in and troll. I mean, you want to troll, I'll give people back the same energy they're giving me, and sometimes they don't like that. But you know, obviously I believe in the 2A. I believe in people owning firearms and knowing how to use them. I believe in safe, appropriate use. You know, if there's people out there definitely who shouldn't own firearms. Just a great way to show things that you can be out having fun and doing things in a safe way. And clearly, you know, I believe in my kids knowing how to shoot. They love it. They love martial arts, you know. Yeah, I hear you, Scoot. Sheila, hi again. You know, there's a bunch of people too that they'll start doing YouTube, and for various reasons, they don't show their face, and I get it. It, you know, it makes sense. And I get a lot of people don't want to share guns, but it, you know, it's You know, the other thing too is, provided I don't lose a channel, all the YouTube stuff is saved, right? I can go back to my original channel that I just stopped using. I had it when I had my business, and that footage is still there. You know, I haven't used that channel since what, 2006, I think 2007. Me, your phone once. Pull up YouTube. But you know, as long as you don't lose the channel, it'll be something that your grandkids will see. Or well, you've been in longer. I see. I said you were 25, so you're definitely not 25. You just look younger. I can't even show them. I was going to show that page. I can't even show it because I'll get a strike. I almost did.
Yeah.
Like when I had my shop, I started a YouTube page, and I put in there a bunch of the work I did. So when I'd be talking to people, rather than handing them a business card, I just show them the page. But yeah, that's what I know. And you'd be surprised some of the people you get to meet. You know, especially people all over the world. You know, it's cooler. It's cooler talking with people that are in America. But you never know. You never know the impact you can have on somebody. But now I'm just rambling, so it's not like awkwardly silent. But yeah, I wish YouTube was like it used to be, where you could actually have fun. I get some of the stuff and why some of it's censored, but what I don't understand is why there's a lot of bad stuff that YouTube allows through. You know, people with switches and stuff. You know, they're just promoting the negativity or the bad usage of firearms, and there's not enough out there that's given positive influence. So, but long story short, that's why I have this YouTube channel, and that's why I try to do it. Obviously, if you're trying to have impact or influence or affect people, you want to grow the channel. You know, the more they suppress me and the more they try to hide my shit, the more irritated I get. And that's why I did all my hours to get monetized. It's not to get rich, it's just to take their money. I mean, how better do you return somebody's love than, you know, stick it back to YouTube? You know, I'm in Wisconsin. If you go look at the front of your truck, you'll know exactly where I'm at. That says it right on the grill where I live. So, you know, it's funny, the state I live in, it's kind of liberal. There's a lot of Democrats here, but they're not
bad about it.
They're not anti-gun per se, you know. So even with having a Democratic governor, which is complete bogus, it's a very, very gun-friendly state. The hunting is huge. I mean, that's like a rite of passage even now for kids, is go out deer hunting. So with that, it's, you know, the firearms community is pretty big here. Not as big as drinking and cheese, but there's a pretty big 2A support group here. There's a lot of really cool companies based in Wisconsin with firearms. You know, Henry Repeating Arms is all made in Wisconsin now. BCM is made in Wisconsin. Cryocean Barrels, Vortex, Hold Up Displays, you know, amongst others, you know. So it's I'm running out of stuff to ramble on. Might have to play with the puppy here.
Yeah, I also need to go to bed on a decent time. You gotta have to get up early.
Yeah.
Unless we just leave this up and we can do it live with this tomorrow.
Can do it live. Well, I guess the kid's gonna go to bed, so I'm gonna shut everything off so he can go through. Yeah, that's what I was just saying too, big boy. We're gonna shut this down. So I'm gonna say thank you for everybody that hung out with us. Alvin, you're kind of new. In the pinned comments is Stifler Manufacturing. He manufactures aftermarket Glock slides, and they're working on SIG slides. A bunch of cool stuff. Check out their channel. He has webpage. He manufactures Arizona, right? Or New Mexico. I can't remember if it's Arizona or New Mexico, but one of them southwestern states. I apologize, Stifler. Correct me since you're here yet. Is it Arizona? I think it's Arizona. But obviously, John Wanks, Scoot, Orange Smoke, Big Boy Diesel, Alvin, I appreciate you. And I'm a miss, guys. You know, not a sponsor. Ammo Alchemist, On Point 2A veteran. All you guys, you're solid. You're solid people, and I'm blessed to have the opportunity to sit and make noise in your ear. Arizona. That's what I thought. Arizona. So shout out Old Tool. I almost forgot about you, man. Nick's too. Like I said, there's so many of you guys, and I try really hard to not miss anybody, and I do every time. And it's not that I'm not thinking of you. There's so many, you know. So double tap that screen for me if you haven't. Subscribe to me if you haven't. Definitely check out everybody else's channel. Show support. Even if they don't post content, subscribe to their channel because it just lets them know that somebody's thinking about them. Sometimes just having somebody thinking about you is enough to get through a bad day. So with that, gentlemen, ladies, things, I will catch you all another time.